So guys, this is the build for my witch. It's a pure minion build for now. So I'm planning to go minion, like full minion build later. And I have chosen the infernalist. The reason why I chose the infernalist because it has nodes for minions. Like it also allows your witch to be tanky thanks to the infernal hound, loyal hellhound. This makes your witch really tanky as 20% of the damage from hits is taken by the Hellhound. Eventually, if we have Meat Shield as a support gem, which gives out 50% more maximum life, then this Hellhound will be better, especially if you have also included lots of minion health in your nodes, which we will tackle later. And also, I am planning to go uh, um, full minion build on this. Since the Infernalists had the nodes of 4 minions, the most notable one is the Bidat's Will, which reserves 25% of your life and gives you maximum spirit. So what I'm planning is to increase my life uh, so I can reserve more life from it and then increase my spirit. So one way of increasing your spirit, by the way, is by upgrading your rattling scepter. So if you upgrade this, then your spirit count will also increase, and as well as the stat of percentage increased spirit that will also increase your spirit. And also there are gems like revive, like the revived minions. Like there are gems also which will also lessen your, for example, the skeletal sniper. If you increase the rank of this gem, if you increase the rank of this gem through uncut gems, skill gems, then probably the reservation of spirit will lower. So that's one way of increasing and getting more minions through your spirit. So what I'm planning to do is a full minion build first because I really love it. It's sad to say because there's no minion build really in the ascendancy class like a full summoner, but the infernalist had nodes that will make the minion build really interesting. So I'm looking forward for that. So the first thing I did with my full minion build is go for increase minion damage. These are all minion nodes, by the way. So just follow it. And for these stats, this really depends on what stats you need. So if you choose intelligence, for example, like um, skill gems happens to have uh, requirements. For example, if you have an uncut skill gems, so intelligence is required to unlock the next tier of uncut skill gems. So that is why I have lots of intelligence node. But there are also a couple of dexterity simply because there are some skill gems that also needs dexterity to uh to equip, especially if you level up your skill gems. It so happens that the requirements for dexterity will also increase. So uh the stat nodes for the passive skill tree is really helpful for this. And also the stats also helps in equipping weapons, of course. And by the way, speaking of weapons, the best suggestion I can give you is to equip a plus to level weapons. If you are using minions, then probably you would want plus 2 level of all minion skill. So to increase the damage and as well as the other stats of your minion. Also minion life, minion damage, attack speed that will really help in your minion build. For the one, I choose to have the this one. I'm so lucky that I got this because it has plus one to level of all physical spells, and as well as 44% increase spell in physical damage. So I am using the unearth uh ability, which happens to be a bone skill that is both physical and spell. So this one increases the damage of my unearth, as you can see. Well, you really can't tell by just seeing this because this is really not the true damage of the ability, but it does increase the spell damage of this physical ability and as well as my bone cage also. So for uh, before we go to the skills, let me finish the passive skill tree first. So we are the other equipment, by the way. So when you are building this minion, try to focus upgrading your weapons first, while the rest of the armor set, it's all for elemental resist, energy shield if possible, and be, because it will be helpful for your survivability, especially that we will be getting what do you call this, a spirit aura gem, which has decent amount of energy shield regeneration through pickup, and of course life is also very good, but try to focus as much on resistance, life, and if you can have plus to all level skills also, you can do that on this. But for the plus two level for all minion skills and damage, try to focus on your weapons, and the the armor are for survivability. Now, getting back to the passive skill tree. After getting those, I then proceed to this. It's all really about minion. All the minion nodes to increase the damage and increase the survivability of the minion. But I did add a couple of other nodes, the skill tree, like the damage penetrate, because I don't know if this is possible. So sorry because I'm still new for this because uh what I see is Raging Spirit is a fire skill. So also the minions from this skill convert 70% of physical damage to fire damage. So I think the fire penetration also works in increasing the damage dealt by the Raging Spirit through this breath of fire because it penetrates 15%. So it's almost 27% penetration. So I think this helps, especially in those bosses that are really tanky. But Raging Spirits, by the way, is really not the boss killer. So in terms of skill, this is uh, not yet. So I will try to finish up the passive skill tree first. So after that, I proceeded here, get minion skills again. In this case, I get this because I wanted my minions to be super tanky, especially the Hellhound. And probably I'll be going next to these nodes for the regenerative life regen. But I'm still undecided if I will take that. truth, but for now, it's all about minion builds for me. Then let's proceed to the skills. So basically, what you would want to get or max level here is the unearth. Then you will get flame wall. Flame wall is not exactly for damage. You can get this from the elemental side of the character. Uh, it's not really for damage, but for activating the raging spirit. By the way, raging spirit, if you finally get your first spirit gem, uh, by completing the King of the Mist. I think it's King of the Mist. That's where you drop your first spirit gem. Uh, First get this Raging Spirit because it's really goated for all minion builds. It will definitely make your life easier. And also try to level it up if possible so it can deal more damage. And then aside from Raging Spirits, if you happen to get another Spirit Gem, then Grim Fist is really the best when it comes to survivability because Grim Fist this pairs with the Infernal Hound of your Infernalist. So what it basically does is that Hellhound, your Hellhound takes tanks your damage, and Grim Fist also provides energy shield when your minion dies. So basically, what it does is feed on corpses to bolster your energy shield, while active enemies and reviving minions that die in your presence have a chance to drop Grim Remnants. Picking up a Grim Remnant grants an energy shield. So it's 50% chance to spawn a Remnant when an enemy or reviving minion dies in your presence. So it's really good because first of all we have Raging Spirits which are short-lived flaming skulls. So basically they will die after a couple of seconds and this could somehow proc the Grim Fist. Eventually, after casting Flame Wall, you will get five minions. You will get five skulls. Then a maximum of 10 into cast of Flame Wall. So those 10 Flame Skull have the chance or have the chance to spawn this remnants which will give you energy shield. And by the way, the energy shield if your energy shield is max when you're picking up one, then it will overflow, and in my case it will double. I think it will double. I really forgot, sorry, so please tell me if I'm wrong. I My energy shield can get doubled if I pick up my those remnants when my energy shield is full. So like this tank your damage and this give you energy shield which is really great especially in boss fight. So it helps a lot. It really helps a lot. And aside from uh raging spirits, we also have the minions, the construct from unearth. This is not a bossing skills by the way, but more of a map clearing skill. You will definitely try to combine unearth and casting flame wall to get the raging spirits. These two are the best when it comes to map clearing. So what you'll basically do is that raging spirits will kill some of those small enemies. Then if you cast an earth on those corpses of killed enemies, then it will turn into bone constructs, which are also minions that could damage enemies. So a limit of 14. And by the way, these 14 bone construct can also proc the Grim Fist, giving you more survivability, which is insane. Like right now, it's really easy for me to go from map to map because of this ability. Well, I die a lot in my previous clips because I was really trying my best to somehow test all the nodes, the first nodes on in the infernalist. By the way, if you have time, then you want to watch how good this summoner build for my witch is, then I have included the link to my Twitch channel below so you can watch the some clip on how it works. But I I just want you to know that I really tried and tested this build and it's really amazing. It really needs some improvement though. And as you might know, there are some issues with me. So it's not the build but the player using it, especially when I'm tired, like I'm sleepy, I can focus because I usually die. But yeah, if if you can try out this build, then you will definitely see how good it is when it comes to providing good damage through minion and survivability through the Hellhound and the Grim Fist aura. And aside from that, by the way, I also tried. I also added flammability for the negative 32% fire resistance, which uh, it's this is just future proofing. Now I also tried the skeletal arsonist, but I don't like it for now. Uh, Maybe some of you like it because of the explosive demise command that explodes your minions. This is really good with Raging Spirits and the Construct from Unearth because they're short-lived and basically they can be detonated easily if you have the Skeletal Arsonist. But right now my build is not uh, constructed towards a nuker build. It's more of a minion and the damage of the minion. I'm really I'm really focusing on the damage of the minions right now. And aside from that, uh, what else did I miss? Instead of the skeletal arsonist, I highly recommend the skeletal sniper because the skeletal sniper is really great in dealing damage, especially in bosses and those rare enemies. This is really one of the best damage dealing ability in your kit right now or in my kit right now. You will see it on my stream. This is really good, especially with the poison applied by supported skills, also break armor. This is really helpful for those high armor enemies. And the best part about this is that the gas toxin can also be exploded by what do you call this? By ignited enemies. And also I want to say I want to say that ignited enemies through like uh skeletal sniper, like if it so happens that if you if you cast this, the gas arrow command of the sniper, then you casted flame wall and enemies get uh, sorry, gets ignited, then there's a probability that the minion will explode, dealing damage to the area around it. But honestly, the explosion right now, it's not really optimized for this build. It's more of a damage, pure damage through minions. And Skeletal Sniper is really great in dealing damage with the poison arrow or the gas arrow, in terms of boss fights and those rare monsters. Then Bone Cage is for CC, like those enemies rushing you. Then Bone Cage will be great with the lockdown, which will pin them down. This is really helpful, especially in those in the Colossus fight, wherein there are construct that will rush towards you to freeze you. This will really come in handy in that boss fight. Finally, Pain Offering. This is also really good, especially with the Raging Spirits, that as it increases the attack speed of the Raging Spirit and the damage. It's really great. It can melt the health of enemies really easily with this. But like I've said, Raging Spirits really sucks in boss fights for now. And the best damage dealing skill I have for boss fights is Skeletal Sniper. Like I've said, Unearth and Raging Spirits are for my mapping, while Skeletal Sniper is it, it's for the boss fight. So my plan really is to test out how many Skeletal Sniper I can have uh, after progressing through the campaign. And I don't know how much the damage. It's really not optimized yet, so still don't know. But just imagine if we have at least five skeletal sniper on our build. Now the damage will be really insane. Because just check out my Twitch video about that. It's really insane. Not to the point that it can one shot, but it really uh takes out a percentage of the life of enemy. So what else did I miss? Uh, some tips by the way. Uh, in early levels, I really struggled or because of itemization. So one thing that I really uh advise is to always check out for items on the vendors, because they sometimes bring items that will definitely boost your character. For example, this one and this one, I have purchased this item on the NPC on Act 1. And as you can see, it's level 18 and level 14. And currently, I'm level 34 now. So these are Act 1 bosses, nominee items, and I'm still using them because it's not really the level that is important or the skill that the weapon grants, but the buff that it grants. Like so far in my playthrough, this is the highest stats I have gotten for my weapon. So, and also exalted orbs if you can. For example, if you see a weapon with stats like +2 level on a specific a skill gem that you are using, then you wanted to uh, upgrade it, then it's really worth to upgrade it to rare with exalted orbs. So another thing that is possible in like progressing early or progressing easy in Path of Exile 2 is that once you have seen the vendor, uh, if this vendor happens to have no item or in particular that will help your character, then you can always proceed to the next vendor that sells normal normal equipment or even magic and rare equipments. So they can sell some rare equipments that your character can benefit from. And if there's no rare equipment on those vendors that sells item, then the last one would be the gambler, wherein you gamble for an item. For example, random one with random stats. You can also get unique items in here, but it really depends and it costs a lot of gold that sometimes I really prefer to check out here the items here and see if I'm lucky. And don't forget about all the drop. Do not just keep all the currency that you get from the campaign. Use it to progress. I have like no, eight, at least eight exalted drops and two chaos orbs, but I use it to upgrade my equipment so I can progress better in the campaign. Anyway, in when you are in the Atlas map, you will definitely find a lot of currency. So that's the time you can just save currency for the end game materials or the end game weapons and armors that you want for your character or for your what your character needs. So I think I haven't missed anything. So take note that this is just an early or starter build for the witch class if you're planning to do a minion build. Probably I'll be sharing an updated version of it once I decided what other skill nodes I will get, and eventually there are more skills to learn from. So this can change, but right now you can actually use this infernal minion build like progress in the campaign. And don't worry because I will update this guide in the future. So that's that's all about it for now, and I really hope to see you again on my next video, my Path of Exile video. I will try to make it as authentic as possible. Like I'm just talking with you guys, like giving you suggestions. So this is how I will uh this is how I will share my Path of Exile 2 guides channel. And I really hope you will support me on this new journey. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. Help us with the YouTube algorithm. So thank you so much and hope to see you soon.